morning from Rishikesh. I'm sitting at the Parmarth Ashram, beautiful lawns. Rishikesh is not about just India and just Indians. It is a variety of people, a whole melting pot where different experiences, different nationalities come together, integrate together for the learning of themselves and take that lessons to the world. At Pragya, we're going to be introducing and interviewing this beautiful person who I've just met in the ashram. Rishikesh is that melting pot where you can start without any background of the person, without knowing their bank balance. You can literally hold yourself in a conversation for the purpose of who you are and for the purpose of what they are.
Namaste.
Namaste.
I am Trica and I was born in the Netherlands, and when I was 25 I moved to New York and the city was like woo, really crazy. So after a while I got lost and I got divorced and the whole thing, and I was like, I need to find myself. And you know, everybody's like, go to India, whatever. But when I was 25 I did go to India and I just went to casinos and nightclubs. So that's not what India's for, right? And so then 20 years later I went back to Rishikesh and I experienced it very different. I started to do a yoga teacher training.
Okay.
And because that was the cheapest I could do, and it just opened up my world. After 4 weeks I was just a different person.
So in 4 weeks yoga transformed the way you were feeling and thinking?
Yes, the way I was feeling inside and my self-worth, and I felt healthier and I looked healthier and I attracted like healthy people.
Amazing.
Yeah, really, it's amazing. I did not know that that would happen.
Excellent, excellent. What do you feel the vibe of the Ganga Ma? Do you go for a dip in the Ganga? Do you feel that kind of like changes the energy of this place?
Yes.
It does.
The first thing I do when I come to Rishikesh, I take a dip in the Ganges with my clothes on, because you know it's not respectful to wear a bikini or anything. And yesterday I did that and it was really cold. But I feel so refreshed and so like in place and like not grounded because it's water, but yeah, it.
Amazing, amazing. So you have a yoga shala here?
Not a yoga shala. When I first came here, then I did the teacher training, and then in the evening I saw lots of children on the street, and I was as a teacher at the UN school, the United Nations school, we have everything. And then when I saw the kids like selling stuff and just it's like I want to do something. And that's what happened after the teacher training, because before I was just working with really rich kids from ambassadors and stuff. And then I saw all these kids and I started making drawings with them, and really beautiful. It's right there at the Ganges.
Okay.
And eventually it became the school Children of the Ganges.
Amazing. How wonderful.
Yeah. I made fundraise cards out of those drawings and I sold them to parents. And
how lovely. It's for a beautiful cause, and in a space that you find yourself more calm, more connected, more, you know, to who you really are.
Yeah, I don't think I could have done it anywhere else but in Rishikesh. I think there's so much like synchronicity here. Like doors just open up, you meet people and you meet yourself, really.
So I think, like I'd mentioned earlier as well, Rishikesh has this vibe. It's the vibration energy which is so elevated that you actually integrate with nature. And when you integrate with yourself too. And that's how, as human beings, we're supposed to be and supposed to feel. And this is where we actually belong, in the greens, gardens, amongst trees, amongst nature. Because we are also a part of nature. We are one of nature's finest creation. So when we are amongst them, we feel connected and integrated for who we are. When you said you started with children, and that's what your calling is, I understand. So what are some of the challenges? Because today children across the world are facing mental health issues.
Yes.
People are talking about the gadgets, the tablets, etc. But at Pragya, I feel the gadgets and the tablets was a part of the evolution man is going through as well. Because in 200 years, we have gone from needle to nuclear, from nothing to all the comforts. All the comforts were created to help humanity. It's up to you how you use the knife. For example, like you can kill someone with that, you can, chop a beautiful vegetable, you can also save someone in a case of an emergency.
True.
So it's how you use it. One of the addictions that I feel that children have and has caused them just not mental issues, but also physical issues, because they're so attached to their tablets, their phones, and as a result of it, they're facing diabetes at such an early age. They're facing depression at a very young age. One of the things that I also feel very strongly with Pragya is we've got food on the fingertips. That means we have all these apps, we have all these delivery companies that deliver you food on your fingertips. As a result of it, we're not mindfully eating.
No.
So at Pragya, we feel we are three components. We are focused completely on the three components, and that is the body. We are what we eat and digest. That impacts our mind, and that impacts the way we feel, think, and process the information we have received and the information we want to deliver. And last of all is our breath, because when we are born, we gain the breath, and when we pass on, we lose the breath, the prana.
Yes, the prana is everything.
And there is no learning about the most important things at any school level, at any corporate level, at any home level. We're all programmed to the country that we were born, to the religion we are born. We're not really going out to explore, unlike a person like you who said, okay, fine, this is enough. I'm going to go exploring. And you found yourself, and over the years you have had this school and you have had this opportunity.
But it's also the commitment, right?
Yes,
That's the hard
I agree.
Part.
So would you throw light on when is the earliest time when the child can be connected to the body through a form of yoga or breath?
Well, right now there's even yoga for women that are pregnant to make them feel peaceful in their breathing. And I believe it can only start that young.
Amazing.
But but then even preschool, it can be very playful and like be an animal and blowing a balloon and smelling the flowers with the breathing. There's lots of things you can do with little kids.
Okay, two things that you've just spoken of. One is that in the Vedic science is something called the Garva Sanskara, where they feel that the way the woman is, the child is already in the womb. So the sounds around the woman, the way she's thinking, the process of how she is treated, what kind of food she's eating. And at this stage in time, the breath matters intensely, because she's now breathing for two, right?
For me, it was 3. I had twins.
Amazing. How wonderful.
But and singing and chanting is also very important. I did a lot of singing to my children.
Amazing. Do you have a boy and a girl?
Yes, boy and a girl.
I'm not in the Vedic sciences, and of course science has already proved it. When we have a twin, if it's a boy, the breast produces milk, which is different composition in chemical to the one for a girl child.
Really?
Are you aware of it?
I had twins. So
okay.
So I didn't know.
Yes,
that's interesting.
So science has proven it, and how well the human body is designed, that it actually produces milk separately for both sexes. Yeah. And
there's so much to learn about these things. Wow.
Yes. And what is that one thing you would teach a child about the breath?
About the breath is that you can control it.
Okay.
And if you feel like all stressed and sad and stuff, you can help finding yourself with focusing on the breath. Yes.
And what does it do for the brain?
It calms down the brain, and it makes oxygen flow through your whole body. and just feeling good in itself is healing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you think like children should know how when they eat something it impacts their mind?
Yes, I think so. At our school, we feed the children, right? And we pray before we eat. And after the dinner, before the dinner, we collect all the food. Everybody gives a little bit, and then we'll go to the cows at the end. And that makes them very mindful and grateful about what they're getting to, we're feeding what we're eating. And of course, it's vegetarian. I mean, I was eating a lot of meat, and I learned like that is not good for nature. It's not good for anyone.
Okay.
Right. So, and you can teach that when they're young. And originally, I think we probably were vegetarians. I don't know, but then we,
I think we ate to survive back in the days.
Yeah, fast food.
And processed food is definitely
Yes.
not the future of the world and future of the joy and happiness we all want to experience. But I'm just going to recap of what you just said. So understandingly that once we control the breath, we have controlled the oxygen distribution in our body, and that could start at a very, very young age. And since you have a school, you have taught people from riches, children from riches, and from all the benefits to children with more challenged situations.
Yeah, a lot more, I think.
A lot more challenged situation, but you kept something very consistent that you spoke about, the food that we intake, the breath that we are, the intent. Before you said dinner, you take out some small food and then you collect it and you serve it to a cow.
Yes.
Yeah? Now, when that happened, I would imagine it's gratitude, intention, and sharing.
Sharing
what kind
with
of
each
values
other.
do you think
I think so.
it is the same as?
Yeah, I mean, family time in the United States where I live, it's like almost gone. People order food and then they sit by themselves behind a laptop. Everything very quick. They don't even taste anything. It's just filling your body, and everything has added sugar.
Right.
So
this whole war of food, this whole war of addictions, and this drive to be in front of your computer, laptop, iPad, phone. At Pragya, we feel it was a very well marketed strategy. There's 2 glasses of wine is good for you. Well, actually, there are other things that are good for the person. What's your view on that?
Yeah, you can have a tea, you can have a green tea, you can have water. I like to drink water with bubbles, makes me feel special.
Okay.
But yeah, tea, share a cup of tea. That's, I guess, so much healthier.
Would you explore the options? I'm sure you have, but would you like to share it with all? When we eat food, regardless of our age, there are asanas that we can do that help us digest the food.
I'm still learning about all these things, but like when you do a lot of twists, that is good for detoxifying yourself. Just sitting with a straight back, that in itself is very good, and we usually don't do it, especially when you do your computers and stuff. Standing straight, that's a very important one, so your prana can flow. You can do so many more hours, it never stops. Like, right now I'm reading a book about waste, being wasteful, and just using what you have and don't use everything around you. Like when we eat, you can eat what you like, and if you go to a restaurant, but eat what you order, eat it, enjoy it. Don't just order and just, okay, I don't like it, or I have too much and I throw it out.
So appreciate what is ahead in front of you, enjoy it, savor it.
Savor it, yes. Yeah. Take your time, mindful eating.
Okay.
Yes, that's a hard one, but yeah.
You said you've come and you're spending time in Rishikesh, and you've been here for some years now, and you're dealing with children who have less resources, I would say.
Yeah, no one has a computer at home.
Nobody has a computer. Do they look more joyful, or they look more much in anxiety or envy? Which one would you say?
In general, more joyful. Have just like little naughty things, or just not
more
so
playful.
More playful.
And more connected to themselves.
Yes.
I feel like even for us, when I was growing up, we didn't have any of these gadgets, and we couldn't just wait to get in our hands, like get out in the gardens and play, create a group, coexist, create our games in the open ourselves, amongst trees, under the sky,
Like
under the
you're
sun.
sitting,
Yes,
right? Yeah, yes.
absolutely. And it somehow really never made us feel that we were missing out on anything.
Yes.
You know, it was never made us feel incomplete. In fact, now I feel when the children, they're tired, their eyes are hurting, and yet they're like, oh God, it's like almost that the world is at their fingertips, but while it's on their fingertips, their mind is now fed with so much information which is absolutely not required, and that creates a thought, and the thought is coming from desires, and that is causing the mental agitation in the mind. And as a routine, they do this day in and day out,
Yeah, for 5-6
hour
hours
in and
a day.
hour out.
Yeah.
And that is just not amongst children, it's about adults as well. So at Pragya, we feel the vibrational energy has shifted, and the
Yeah.
vibrational energy of the planet is shifting and needs to be looked into. As a representative of the United Nations, what would you like to say on that?
I would like to say that there's a lot of work to be done. And first of all, like being violent, that in itself doesn't solve anything. So being kind to each other and learn how to solve problems by empathy and trying to put yourself in somebody else's body, or just imagine that you're the other person. You can't be that hurtful. Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay.
But you know, I'm from New York, from the Netherlands, Rishikesh. It's all this. Kids are the same. Kids are the same.
Kids are the same, and
But we have to keep them away from all these. And now, artificial intelligence, there's no saying where that is going. So,
well, technology has been our strength, but it was actually made to make life easy, more joyful, more accessible. Like we said earlier, it's the same knife, whether you use to cook and save or kill. So use your technology mindfully. Know you are the body, mind and breath. If you can get your hands on yoga, better eating and understanding your breath, please start. The earlier you start with your children, and the earlier you understand that we are what we eat and digest, and we are the breath, we are the body, it will facilitate the generations to come. Thank you.